LeBron to the Warriors? Say it ain't so, right? Regardless, let's talk about LeBron James, shall we? The chosen one came into the league with a lot of hype, and then over time became one of, if not the, depending on the metric you look at, the most dominant players of his era. And of course, he has gotten not one, not two, not three, but 4 championship rings with 3 different NBA teams. A true accomplishment that ranks him among the best around. But things in LA aren't going the way he wants, and as such, things might be shifting. To the Golden State Warriors? We'll explain. Number 5. State of LeBron. There is speculation that LeBron James is not going to sign a 2-year, $97.1 million extension with the Los Angeles Lakers this summer. Instead, LeBron would, in theory, go the route of taking it a year by year as a means to have leverage over the Lakers. While it is a really hard thing to do, perhaps the best thing the Lakers could do for the future of the franchise is trade LeBron if they think he is going to leave after the 2022-2023 season. If the Lakers committed to making this shocking move, there would be a litany of suitors. One potential suitor could be the Golden State Warriors, who are looking to get back to winning a championship. LeBron recently said that Steph Curry is the one player that he still wants to play with in the NBA, and the Warriors have assets to trade. Golden State would instantly become the runaway title favorites, and the Lakers could get some decent assets in return. Golden State has the contracts to make it work as well, if the right things happen, of course. Number 4. The trade. Now, you might be thinking that no trade for LeBron involving the Warriors could go down without having someone like Klay Thompson or Draymond Green on the trade block. And in certain circumstances that might be fair, but not in this one, especially since the Warriors have finally gotten their 3 big pieces on the court together again, mostly, and know they can win a title with them. But to make the deal more viable, they'll be helping ensure the future of the Lakers via some key talent and draft picks. Basically, the deal would be that the Warriors would get LeBron and only LeBron, and the Lakers would get Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, and the first-round picks of the Warriors in the 2023 and 2025 drafts. So in essence, the Lakers would be trading away their present in hopes that their future is secured. A vision, if you will, that many teams have done recently. But of course, that question remains, would the Warriors even want to do this deal? Number 3. Reasons to go for it. It kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? The Warriors would be getting the 2nd greatest player in basketball history, and would instantly make themselves the NBA championship favorites in the process. It is not like the Warriors are taking on much more money than they are already paying out this season as well. In fact, the Lakers are actually saving $4.5 million against the luxury tax, which is an added bonus. Jonathan Kuminga has serious talent, and James Wiseman has not been a great fit, but still has big potential as the former 2nd overall pick. While the Warriors would be losing young depth, they eventually have to pull the trigger if they want to win another ring with Steph Curry, should this year not go their way. It's only the first round of the playoffs at the time of this video. So sure, LeBron may be at a point in his career where he only plays 50 regular season games a year, but the Warriors have so much talent that it would be just fine if LeBron did that. At full strength, it would be near impossible to beat a Warriors team with LeBron James on it, similar to how it was with Kevin Durant. And remember, they won 2 titles with him and went to 3 straight finals. Who is slowing down a closing 5 of Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, LeBron James, and Draymond Green? With the strides that Poole is taking, that might just be the best closing 5 in NBA history. Moses Moody is the only depth player that is signed for next season, but the Warriors still have their 2022 first-round pick to add depth. Add 3 to 4 minimum players to the mix, and the Warriors would be more than 5 and would likely breeze to an NBA title if healthy. Plus, should the worst happen and one of them gets injured, a sad recurring theme for the Warriors as of late, the remaining players can easily pick up the slack so long as they aren't all injured, like what happened with the Lakers this year. There would be an adjustment period, no doubt, much like what happened with Durant, but if they work it out, yeah, they'll be hard to beat for at least 1 year or not 2 or more, depending on how things land with LeBron and his contract deal. Number 2, why would the Lakers ditch LeBron? Trading a superstar like LeBron James is not an easy thing to do, and no matter what they do with LeBron and others, people are going to ride them, so they need to do what they think is best right now instead of dreading what might happen later. especially since for the third time in LeBron's 4 years with them, they're out of the playoffs, and this time they didn't even make it to the play-in tournament. Los Angeles could get the best trade package ever from another team, and they might not ever actually pull the trigger because of the entire idea of trading LeBron. Assuming they get over that hump, this is the kind of package that can help reboot the franchise. The Lakers would get 2 recent lottery picks with serious potential. James Wiseman has not had a great career thus far, but still has big potential as the second overall pick. Jonathan Kuminga showed some really good flashes and could be a true number 2 on a contending team in the future. The 2 first-round picks help add assets to the Lakers as they have no picks in the future, and Andrew Wiggins is simply in the deal to make the salaries match. The Lakers would instantly be deeper, and quite frankly could hedge by keeping Russell Westbrook and letting AD and Westbrook simply play out the 2022-2023 season. Sure, the results might not be great, but it could be a true test of whether or not Davis is suited to be the franchise player of the team. The Lakers would then have massive cap space opening in the 2023 summer and could pursue a star to pair with AD like Bradley Beal. And let's be honest with ourselves here for a second, okay? The Lakers have already made a set of horrible moves that resulted in the current NBA season that they had. They had the Legends team that did literally nothing but fall and fall hard. Again, they didn't even make the play-in tournament, and that would have been their saving grace had they won even a few more games, and yet they couldn't stay healthy and in sync enough to do that. So making a move right now might just be the best thing for them to secure their future and put this nightmare of a season behind them. Number 1, his son. LeBron is playing out of his mind despite being a much older player, but for him, longevity is something he's aiming for, and for a very basic reason. He'd love nothing more than to go and play with his son Bronny, aka LeBron James Jr. To be clear, his son isn't in the league yet, but he might be soon, and if he plays to the level that LeBron can, or even a fraction of that, it's going to be something special. So LeBron wants to help him out in any way that he can, and that includes apparently going and playing with him during his rookie season. The catch there is, we don't know where he's going to be drafted, and it's very possible that it won't be to the Lakers or the Warriors. It all depends on Bronny's perceived talent as well as what teams are in the lottery and able to get him, presuming he's in the top 10 of the draft. Where Bronny goes will determine where LeBron goes, and if it's not the Warriors, then getting him for even 1 year, let's call that the Kawhi Leonard option, is a big risk given all they'd give up for him. So in truth, while the deal is appetizing to many, it comes with many drawbacks that cannot be ignored. So what happens now is very much up in the air. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at a potential trade between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers in order to try and get LeBron James? Do you think the Warriors would even consider such a deal? Would the Lakers truly ask for a king's ransom, pun intended in multiple ways there, to get such a deal done? Would that super team even work? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.